今日嘅任務咧就要剪頭髮，因為實在太亂啦。所以就試下呢間嘢。Cool. It's done.
Alright, buddy. Ready to go?
Yeah. I think it'd be great if we teaching everyone how to really describe my hairstyle.
To be honest, there's a few key elements, right?
Yes.
So you've got the undercut. Which basically means the top and the sides are disconnected. They're not connected, which means it falls on top of the sides.
Yeah.
So that's the key thing about your haircut. So it is an undercut.
So if I have to explain to someone new, describe the undercut, do I have to say undercut with disconnected hair from the side to the top?
Yeah, the thing is about undercut is it's a very broad term. So a lot of haircuts do have some elements of undercut because often, especially in guys' hair, you want the top a bit longer than the sides.
Yes.
But it's a broad term, and disconnection can sometimes be a big amount of disconnection or a little bit.
Right.
So maybe my hair could be a little bit disconnected, but not too much.
Right.
You know? So but yours is like
a big
got quite a big disconnection.
Right.
So it's good to know that. If you tell your hairdresser, I want quite a lot of disconnection, then they won't connect the sides to the top. But then there's different styles of undercut, and you have a fringe. So the fringe is the part that's going forward, right?
Yeah,
which means it's falling onto your forehead.
Right.
So I'd say yours is like a disconnected, kind of forward falling fringe. You've got like a fade on the sides.
Yeah.
Which basically is like a blended, very short clippered cut.
Right.
So if you say to someone, I want a fade, then they will use their clippers. Whereas if you say I want short sides, it might not be clippers, you know what I mean? It might be scissor cut on the side.
What is clippers?
Clippers is the machine.
Ah, right.
We say clippers. On the top, we're just getting a trim. So we say just a trim.
A trim.
A trim is like a short haircut. It's not taking lots off. Right. We're just trimming it. It means we're making it a bit shorter.
How trim is it usually within 1 centimeter?
Probably.
Yeah.
If it's a guy and says they want a trim, for me it's probably 1 centimeter.
Oh, right.
That's what I interpret.
And
yeah, carry on.
I mean, because fringe is a big part of my haircut, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So how can I describe my fringe?
I think you'd probably say you like your fringe on your eyebrows.
On my eyebrows.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
Which means it's just resting on your eyebrows.
Yes.
Or you could say slightly above my eyebrows.
Yeah.
Or like slightly below. When you showed me a photo, I saw a lot of texture in the hair.
Yes.
And texture is important. So you want it to have volume maybe.
Yeah.
Or like feel like it's not all really straight and flat.
Oh, yes.
So to create texture, I like to use a method that's called like texturizing. And it will mean that maybe I come in here and break it up.
Yes.
Which will make it a bit thinner.
Yeah.
But it will make it more textured. So if you say I want texture in there, maybe they will thin it out a little bit. But it will not be. It will be for me, it's like a method rather than if you say I want it thinner. Some people might just use the thinning scissors.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Which I don't really like.
I don't really like as well.
Because they make it really thin.
Yeah.
But they don't create nice texture for your hair. Right. So then I think it's harder to style.
Yes.
And you lose some of the volume because it's so thin afterwards.
Yes.
So I think it's really important to put texture in your hair.
Yeah.
And maybe some people's hair is really thick. You have to thin it. It's good for it. But you've got to be careful because if you thin too much, your haircut's rubbish.
Yes. It will be like flat.
Yeah, or just really wispy. You know, wispy is like
wispy?
When it's like flying in the wind.
Ah, right. Yeah. Like Boris Johnson.
Yeah, or like...
How can I strike the balance between not being rude and being rude. Because sometimes if you say, "Oh, I don't want," the thing is that you're somehow questioning the barber's capability.
I know, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard in British culture because as soon as you say something, suddenly someone feels like you're not attacking them, but you're like, you know what I mean? Like you say, it's hard balance. Oh, I've had a really bad experience in the past. Would you mind? I think "would you mind" is quite a key word, right?
Yeah.
Would you mind not using the fitting scissors if that's okay?
Yeah.
Someone's like, yeah, you're not using them. Like, that's a bit arrogant, you know what I mean? It's like,
and say, because I guess this is a common thing in Hong Kong or Asia culture, to say if a barber trimming your hair, or maybe using the clippers, and then get it too short, but the guy always like being shy and just doesn't want to stop.
Didn't say it,
Yeah, and then they end up having terrible experience.
Yeah, that's it. It's this is why it's good to learn the grades of the clippers.
Yes.
Because then you can say the shortest length I want to be a 1, a number 1.
Yeah.
And then the barber knows he won't do a 0 because the guy has said I want a 1.
Yeah.
If you say like I want a 4 on the sides, then the barber, if he doesn't do a 4, really his fault.
Yes.
It's bad. It's bad service.
Right.
So it's good to learn what number you like on the sides.
Yeah. And would it be rude to stop in the middle way when the barber is just cutting your hair? Just like, oh, I don't want to be that short actually.
Not entirely rude, but I think it's a bit stupid because it's already that short.
Yes, you can't.
So you may as well just let him try and do a good job. Whereas if you stop him, he'll probably do something that's, I mean, you could say, oh, no shorter than that, please.
Oh, no shorter than that.
No shorter than that, because that means he knows, okay, that's the shortest for this person. I'm not going to do any shorter.
Okay.
But if you suddenly say, oh, that's too short, well, it's too short, it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So like the fringe that I have, the length that I have.
Yeah.
Is it deemed as a weird style in the UK?
No, I don't think it's weird. I think some people still have a longer fringe. I think people who watch, K-pop, or they understand that's just the style, and there's still people in that are British that have a long fringe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, at the moment in our times in England, a lot of things are quite acceptable. You have people with longer hair, you have people with short hair.
Right.
There's not just one style at the moment, really.
Yeah.
Recently had very long curly hair at the back, it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no one, people find it funny, or they make comments, but they don't, no one's going to really say, what are you doing, you're stupid, or people don't really care, there's so much, especially in this city, there's lots of diversity. Yeah. So it's just okay. Like, no one's judging you because you've got a long fringe.
And will the people judge your hairstyle in sort of office or professional places? I don't
Maybe more. Sometimes I have people say they work in offices, they're like, oh, I can't go too short because I work in an office, or like,
really?
I can't do this because of my job.
What is the thing that they can't do in office?
Well,
as in the hairstyle?
I don't know, like maybe have, these days again it's harder, but maybe a mullet, for example, where it's really long at the back.
Oh,
so
right.
Maybe that would be like slightly, well, some guys, maybe they like to do colour in their hair.
Oh, right.
But they're like, oh, I don't think the boss would like it if I had pink hair.
Is it like some colour just on a strand of hair?
The whole hair colour. I think some guys would love that, but because of their job, they feel like they can't.
Right. Is there any specific word for this style?
So yeah, they'll probably say, I want a fringe trim, please. A fringe trim. Okay. Or they'll say, I want a really short fringe if they want it above. And it's the same sort of conversation as the guys. It's like, where do you want, how short do you want it?
Yeah.
And they might say, oh, I want it on my eyebrows.
Oh, right.
Or above my eyebrows, just above, or, I want a really short fringe, just like on my forehead.
Oh, right. What about a really flat, and then...
like a really heavy straight fringe?
Yeah, straight fringe.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Or you can say, I want it like choppy or chopped into, which means it's a bit more jagged.
A bit more jagged.
A bit more like broken up.
Oh, right.
If you want it like
broken up, really.
Yeah, broken up.
Okay, cool. So that's it. Thanks so much, man. So anyone, if you want to have a haircut in Bristol, please subscribe Ben's Instagram account.
Get involved. Cheers, Richard. Top man.
Cool. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys.